Hello and welcome to Locutors of Trek, Treckle Trunk, where tonight we will review IDW's Star Trek Voyager Homecoming, the final 3 issues, numbers 3, 4, and 5. It's a long time coming for us to get to this review here to wrap this up.
Indeed.
I had to acquire the issue.
It's been a bit of an odyssey, you might say.
It has been. Well, one of the first issue got lost in the rain for weeks.
Oh my gosh, I'd forgotten about
came out unscathed pretty well.
Yeah, indeed.
So
got lost in, what was that, a hydrangea quadrant or something?
Yeah, something.
Whatever that is.
Well, written by, of course, friends of the show, Susan and Tilly Bridges. Amazing art by Angel Hernandez.
Indeed.
I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that very well. So, like, on hell.
Colors by Charlie Kirchhoff.
Yep. And edited by friend of the show, Heather Antos.
Indeed.
We have many friends here.
Indeed. All those other names, you're welcome to your friends as well. We'd love to make first contact.
Come on and take the space line.
Indeed. Take it.
You know what, Dave?
What's that?
You've never taken the space line.
Oh my God. That's
what
true.
What do you think?
I should sometime. Should I do it now?
Favorite show?
All right. Oh, wow. TNG.
Favorite episode?
No, oh, God. Just a minute. No, favorite show is probably DS9.
Okay.
Favorite episode is Dharma.
Favorite episode. Oh, I thought you were going to say Balance of Terror.
Oh, no.
Favorite movie?
Oh, favorite movie. Oh, God. Might be Star Trek 2, but it's probably Star Trek 6. Star Trek 2 is just so good.
It's always Star Trek 6. Who's your captain? Well, I know who your captain is.
My captain is.
I know who your captain is. Come on now.
Make it so. Engage. Oh, right. Hot. It's big.
Your favorite character, I think, is probably the same person. But
I could be wrong. My favorite character in all of Star Trek. Wow.
It is a slightly different question. You think it's not, and then you think about it for a second. And you're like,
My favorite character ever might be Spock.
I thought you might go there.
Because he's pretty great.
Your favorite villain?
Favorite villain? Probably just for the intensity. Is it Goma Dread? Who is
from
Chain
of Command? Yeah, Goma Dread.
Yeah. He's
a great actor anyway.
Oh yeah.
His name's escaping me, and that's the tragedy. But yeah, great actor. Favorite alien species?
Oh, jeepers. Just for fun, I think it might be the Caitians. I do like that.
I thought I was the cat person here. Planet you're not going to say Risa.
No, I'm going to say Vulcan.
That's too obvious for you. What?
Vulcan.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, man, take me to the fire points.
You're already on a desert and you want to go to the fire? Not for me. Favorite ship?
Favorite ship would be the New Orleans class starship.
That's nice.
Love it.
You went
we see it on screen for
design with that answer.
Seconds. Yeah. A wonderful design from that era. Absolutely.
Who's the biggest Herbert in Star Trek?
Biggest Herbert in Starfleet? Cripes. There are times when you want to say Barclay, but it's not. He really comes through in his later career.
And he's like who they present to you as that in a way that he's not really that. You're just supposed to think he's that. So it's like,
Yeah.
he's not really that guy.
Now I've lost his name, and that is a tragedy. Who is the captain of what's its face in season 3 of Picard there?
Captain of what now?
The guy who refuses Riker and Picard's request early on there.
Oh, Shaw?
Shaw. Oh man. He's got some features, but he's got
some Herbert tendencies.
He has the Herbert tendencies. Yeah, I think he might be the most serious.
He's just a nuts and bolts man. You know, he's not. He's just a warp jock. He doesn't mean to be on that command chair. He doesn't even want to be there, really.
That's right.
But, that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Star Trek Voyager comic, but that's
true.
Little,
well, that was fun. Yeah, we'll have to throw you. Have you ever done it?
No, I've never done the space line either.
Well, maybe next time we'll throw you through it.
Maybe.
All right.
I learned some things about my co-cuter of Trek there. We see eye to eye on a few of those answers, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think we probably do.
So
here we are. Beautiful.
We're here. It was a long wait to get to these 3 issues, but it was worth it. I love this cover.
I wonder if I can unmirror my cover. Are you seeing me in reverse?
Yeah. No, I think that's great. Right. Put it up again.
You're seeing me the right way around if I hold this up?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, it's just reversing it for me. Isn't that handy? Gotta love technology. All right, yeah, so beautiful cover art showing 7 of 9 in one of those classic spacesuits. We pick up again within the bio ships of species 8472, where
fluidic space.
in fluidic space, where, as you'll recall, at the end of the last issue, Captain Janeway had said, delete it. All of their information on how to get back.
Such a Janeway move, man.
Absolutely. She knows it's the right move.
She's like, yes, I understand. She's like exactly. She's like I understand the consequences, but like, follow my orders, Captain. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to delete the information, Captain. Just delete the information, B'Elanna.
Right.
This is like
Earth is at stake. It's a sacrifice they have to make. So they then take off through the ship.
Check out our supplemental on Janeway, by the way, and get our thoughts.
Oh yeah.
How much we both really love Janeway, I think. I may have more faith in her captaincy abilities than Dave does. But Dave just disappeared. He'll be back. But this comic, it gets there. When we were talking to Susan and Tilly Bridges, the writers, I said I was, waiting for them to get home and go to the beach and get their hugs. And because it's been 7 years in a long journey, and not everyone made it. Not everyone made it back from the Delta Quadrant. Oh, I see, Dave. I forgot you can't bring your.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
I had a technical difficulty there. I've talked to engineering, and they're sorting it out.
I just talked to the people about how it eventually gets to the thing I was talking to Susan and Tilly about, which is like they need hugs. They need to get to the beach eventually, or
absolutely.
My soul won't be able to take it.
But not yet, and not for a few
it's
few harrowing twists and turns yet.
It's literally the worst thing about the series Voyager. I love that series, but they get to the last episode, they get to Earth, and you just see them flying in formation with a few ships, and that's all you get. It's like, what? That's what we get of their homecoming? I'm glad this comic is called Homecoming, because it's the homecoming we never got in the series. That series needed one more episode, probably a 2-parter.
Well, this certainly would have been at least.
But this is. Yeah, this would have been this would have been perfect, because it picks up on that storyline which needed to be picked up on, which was that 8472 facility. It's like,
sure, absolutely.
You're going to the trouble to like clone humans and learn all about them, so much about them that you can convincingly be them. Like Boothby seems like Boothby, until he's trying not to be, and he's just like, I'm just being a stern kind of 8472 guy. But like,
yeah, indeed,
yeah, it's like you wouldn't just throw that aside. So they picked it up and ran with it, and here we are.
So 7 of 9 is still trying to get things running on Voyager. The fleeing crew members, including the captain, are able to temporarily stop their pursuers using their own technology against them and make their way back to Shuttle Bay, where they steal one of 8472 shuttles and start heading away, leading to the classic Tom Paris line, or Tom Paris and B'Elanna exchange. Where is this? I think we're about to have company, says B'Elanna. Tom, I don't know. I'm squeezing the goo as fast as I can, which apparently is what you put your hands in to drive. And then here's the great one. I've seen those hands at work, mister. Speed it up. Yes, ma'am.
And then he instantly figures out the goo pretty well. So he's just like,
he just needs to be properly motivated.
Yeah, that was.
I really love the way they capture their dynamic.
It sounds just like
they are fiercely attracted to each other. They are fiercely angry at each other. They are fiercely whatever with each other.
Fiercely incompatible in most ways. Like,
absolutely.
But they make it work. It's a beautiful relationship. I think we may have done a debate 9 if their relationship is like the best one or something like that.
I think we may have.
One. Yeah. Maybe it'll come up.
So they get themselves back aboard Voyager. They're fleeing. They're pulling together some of the old Borg weaponry back into, well, not old Borg weaponry, future Borg weaponry and tech back into service in this moment to try and help themselves flee. There's a lovely scene of Voyager fleeing as it's striking with its weapons and destroying things, but everything's getting quite hectic in space, fluidic space, mind you. They put the armor on. The armor's not going to last long. And let me get a touching.
Giving her all she's got, Captain.
With
the doctor,
the newborn,
and the baby, Miral.
Indeed, back in Miral, back in sick bay, who is actually going to be a delightful running sort of hot potato throughout the rest of these issues.
Which is, if you've ever had a baby, pretty hilarious. It's
but I mean, I love the way in which this sort of touches that fact that like this little life is going to reorganize all your priorities around it as a center of gravity, you know, or around them. Miral, her in this case. Yeah.
Kids are almost gone. Yes, but who's holding the baby? Is someone holding the baby? Is the baby hungry?
7 has been hanging out with the baby until they can get the doctor back on, whose first question is, Miral, is she safe? And the disease is progressing for Tuvok. Unfortunately, he's down to the level of word association as an attempt to try and understand things. Voyager hiding in a cave. And they're redeveloping nanoprobes here. Decide to send something out to see if they can figure out where their pursuers are. Tom comes up to the bridge, and as he says, it's my first take my daughter to work day. He's already back to quipping, so he's in fine form here.
That's how he copes. So like that.
It is absolutely how he copes. 8472 is going to notice that about humans later, which I love.
With this crew, yeah,
indeed.
Like so even like that's even how like Tuvok deals with things, sort of, and he's a Vulcan.
Yeah, in an odd way, he makes a lot of dry jokes. Yeah. So they found an energy disturbance in the field, and what is it but Borg?
The Borg.
The remains of the first invasion fleet.
I really found these last issues quite satisfying. Not just in like the way it ties up the show, but the way it ties up its own story. I like the way the Borg come into play here.
Yep. I mean, one of the things we've remarked on many times about like how Star Trek stories work is that they are at their best when they feel most Star Trek in some ways when they're referencing the world. And there are a number here. I've left a couple of allusions out already, but there are a number of wonderful sort of references forward and backward in universe time relative to the seasons of Picard that were coming out and other things that are happening. Which really just sort of enmesh this in its context so beautifully. You can tell that the Bridges have just spent so much time with the context here.
Well, check out our interview with our first contact with Susan and Tilly, and you'll see that they are, if nothing, truly Star Trek fans.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh yeah. So faint power readings.
There's lots of nods in
Borg
there.
Thing. Absolutely.
Skillfully placed.
Lovely moments like where the Doctor realizes Tuvok doesn't remember that he can make himself immaterial and intangible whenever he feels like it. Much to his advantage, Tuvok he's hearing words coming through, things like weapons and security and concerns, and his training takes over and he decides they're under attack and begins knocking out security personnel.
Worth a double mention. Meanwhile, check out our first contact with Susan and Tilly, because it'll give you more insight into this story for sure.
For sure. So meanwhile, awesome. On away team. Sorry?
Yeah, I said, and they're awesome. So check it out.
That's true. They are. So an away team consisting of, I think it's Kim and Chakotay and 7 of 9 have beamed across to this destroyed
who I call
Borg
the
vessel.
B team.
I think Star Trek parlance says that's beta team.
Beta team from the Delta Quadrant.
That's right. So, and it looks like
we're not talking about Red Squad, all right? No, just
kidding. Well, that's for sure. No. This is Green Squadron, if anything.
7 of 9 would eat them alive.
And it looks like the Borg are building a deflector dish of their own, attempting to get back.
That's insanely the most insanely resourceful part about the Borg, though. Like, it's just a chunk of a Borg ship, but they could still probably build anything that you wanted them to build. No problem.
Oh, I mean, it's big enough they could repurpose it into most things. Yeah. So what we see here is a lovely moment where 7 uses her knowledge of the Borg, knowing that if she's unarmed, they will see her as obviously not a threat, and flings herself off the side to land among these Borg and announce herself. Greetings, I am 7 of 9, tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01. And then we get a really interesting response. I am 9 of 73 of Trimatrix. No, I am 9 of 73. And again, a wonderful moment of humor
number
here.
That big, 73. Have we ever seen it that big with the Borg? I don't know.
I've never heard them do that. And of course, a lovely moment of humor with 7, an unusual size for a Trimatrix. Aren't you guys a little small for a Borg cube?
Mm-hmm. Big number for such a small cube.
That's right. You know what they say about Borgs with small cubes. Anyway. So
small unimatrices.
These Borg have been very lonely. These 73 are all that remains of their crew. They promise not to be violent. Chakotay and Kim come along, and it turns out the Borg can't even assimilate in fluidic space.
Mm-hmm. Man, like to use a DC references, I'm a Marvel guy, but like 8472 are like truly the Borg's kryptonite.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yes. Yes. So the Borg are beginning to, they're going to begin to make a rift to get back to regular non-fluidic space. Just then, Voyager comes flying by, and they're about to pick the away team up when several 8472 ships come screaming on through fluidic space.
Well, that's how they roll, so
Voyager.
they can do their big group charge-up-y thing.
Indeed.
That's
they
their
need
move.
A focus ship.
Yeah.
So they're activating the armor. They want to beam the away team back, but Seven stops them, saying the Borg here have offered us an alliance.
Let me tell you, I have 8472 ships in my HeroClix figures, and when that focus ship lets loose with a couple of other, it packs quite the punch, doesn't it?
Well, and we see them take out some quite impressive targets with those
Borg cubes.
Focus ship Borg cubes, indeed, numbers of them. Now the captain gets a brief visit from not the Prime Hierarch, but
Boothby.
Not Boothby.
No, not Boothby.
Version of Admiral Paris.
Oh, Archer.
Earlier. Who
Admiral Paris.
Angry. That's right, Admiral Paris. So, who offers them this deal: destroy the Borg and prove your lack of ill intent. If you do, we'll help you build another deflector. So they want to put the captain back on the horns of a dilemma, seeing as their view is
most comfortable.
Yes, exactly. All Borg deserve to be destroyed. Which brings us to issue 4. Again, Bridges, Hernandez, Kirchhoff, with this absolutely spectacular cover art.
Love that cover.
Love this sort of.
That one might go up on the wall later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
it's picking up. The Borg are in there.
Ooh, see dangers now. Back in fluidic
space. It's the same dilemma as before, though. Like they're both gonna accuse you of playing it or collaborating with the other one against them, even if you don't. So you might as well. So you might as well just.
So what happens?
And roll with it.
What happens when you're caught in the middle of a position where trust is so absolutely broken, right? That only hostility remains. So here again, Miral is going to pass across. I'll take Miral with me, says B'Elanna, so that Daddy can keep. She's not distracted while keeping us all alive. They're really finding a division of labor fairly quickly.
Yeah. It's working.
Indeed. So, having taken care of their worries about the risk of assimilation, they get the power downlink from Voyager going on, and begin to try and secure Tuvok a little more when a strike sends shockwaves and sparks and energy lancing through the med bay, and they head to the doctor's office rather than stay in the main room. The cube's getting all beat up here. If it's destroyed before the rift can open, they can't get back, and nor can they take the Borg with whom they have agreed to travel at least that far with them. So, the captain says, put us between 8472 and what remains of that Borg ship. And then tries to get back in touch with Admiral Paris, beginning an argument, which I think takes him by surprise. He says, come to beg for your life, not for mine. These Borg have been severed from the collective. They're not responsible for the attack on your people. Bringing subtle Federation ethics into a question which the 8472 believe they've entirely resolved in their own minds, right? The Borg are this is collective responsibility. We are going to destroy them all. And at an emotional level, one might perhaps understand that. But at the ethical level, it's simply true that collective punishment is illegitimate, even, especially perhaps in times of war.
And what we've seen from a lot of Voyager episodes too is people in the Delta Quadrant, and I'll include 8472 in this, don't really care if you've been removed from the collective. A Borg is a Borg to most.
No.
They all hate 7 of 9. Like,
absolutely. There's an enormous amount of ill will and long, painful memory about the Borg in the Delta Quadrant. Yeah. And so the 8472 say it's justice, death is all the Borg deserve. So they're going to push this hard.
It's fun. The Borg find themselves on the other side every now and then. They're usually the overwhelming force. And,
never more so than with this species.
Yeah.
They've had problems with the Federation, but these guys messed them up worse than anything. So, more 8472 ships warp in. They're blasting away at Voyager. So the captain decides to finally use some of the Borg nanoprobe weaponry that they have devised to shoot in cased torpedoes, so they can actually be delivered effectively. And 1, 2, 3 8472 ships go up in flames.
There's more. It's a good start, though.
Indeed. Casualties are mounting. There are more ships coming in, however. And where we saw an interesting moment, I just want to run back here real fast. There's an interesting moment between our two Borg here, where after the captain
11, isn't
and
her name
vouch
11?
for each other. This is 9 of 773, I think, something like that. They have a moment, and they say, thank you for defending us to your captain. Here, we see them again in this lovely moment as they're sort of seeing this all play out in front of them. The Borg say to each other, I hope we are in time. As do I. Not getting home would be disagreeable. If we make it back, I would like to explore these new feelings I am experiencing with you. There are complications, but perhaps I would like that as well. Captain, we are ready for the power downlink, as ever, on mission. But taking a moment to recognize a connection that harkens back to one of our own great debates. What is deeper, family or the Unimatrix bond?
Is Unimatrix's the bond deeper than familial bond? Yes, I remember that.
That's right. And we see experimental conditions emerging, which are going to test that, I think, between these two Borg.
I will say there's something about like the first interaction between those two characters where this relationship that develops between them pretty quickly, because that has to happen in a comic book in a couple of issues, feels believable.
I mean, I feel like we know the state that these Borg are in, right? Because like we've seen Hugh and we've seen those others around, and we know that Borg get pretty lost individualizing fairly quickly. Yeah.
And the connection,
it's a very formative time for them.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
And she develops connections with other Borg she meets pretty quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. So they're transferring power from all non-essential systems, trying to keep the shields up. The 8472, meanwhile, are worried about casualties and confused about why the humans would ever be trying to keep the Borg alive. This is instilling a moment of doubt, but they decide finally, call in the focal ship, let them die trying.
Justifying all their suspicions about humans.
Indeed. So we see them forming up into their formation to destroy the Borg ship and Voyager.
It's an awesome shot of Janeway there.
Oh, yeah, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely. So they're on the way to the transporter room, but Tuvok has wandered off somewhere, having been released from his confinement. So, species 8472 is targeting the deflector. They can't keep them from it any longer as they pull away. There's what a wonderful splash page here, eh? Gorgeous art as they're beaming them all out, trying to save as many of the remaining Borg as they can.
Love it.
As well as their away team.
That could have been the cover right there.
Oh, couldn't it? Yeah, I mean, what? Let's just take a look at that again. This is just absolutely gorgeous.
That's great.
Yeah. So back on the ship, everybody's landed in a cargo bay, which is the only place to really beam them into at that number. Bolano, of course, is joking. This is why you pay me all that latinum. Actually, we don't pay you at all. Right. Hold still while I beam you back into space.
Which, as we've discussed, is not entirely true. Like, they do have sort of like a stipend or like some sort of a. It's not entirely
some kind of credit that accrues. And a weird source that argues against Bolano here, or at least argues against her in an earlier period, were the old original series comics from the 80s, 90s, where
even the show they would talk about
getting their pay when they return from a mission. They're going to finish their 5-year mission. They're going to get their pay, which is very interesting. And, it may have been an intermediary stage in all of this.
They at least have access.
There certainly doesn't appear to be any suggestion in the original series that they're a completely money-free society at that point. That sort of really crops up, I think, for the first time in TNG season 1, episode 26, as a direct claim, but maybe before. So the captain decides to surrender again because she's able to she's contacted again by Admiral Paris and says, if you're going to try and keep killing us, we'll fight to the end, and we'll take a dozen more of your ships. To hell with us. At which point the 8472 says, no, everyone will survive. Don't you worry about that. And she says, then we surrender. And here's this lovely moment. Janeway to the 8472. We really need to stop meeting like this. Humor, levity, even as you lose control of your ship again. Humor is a coping mechanism. Welcome to humanity. You can really that is definitely part of Voyager's culture at this point.
Oh yeah.
And here we find two.
It's one of those if I don't laugh, I'll cry kind of things.
Exactly. So Tuvok in the very back of the scene has come to the bridge, seeking his functional home when he's looking for something to do. So Tuvok sees these fellows on the bridge, launches himself at them. They believe it's an assassination attempt all of a sudden, except they convince them that he is genuinely unwell. So they resume course toward a 8472 base called the Aberaton. This great big fellow right here.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Big city style thing in space. They say this is where we will learn from you and break you. They say, what is this place? A laboratory. They've been keeping humans, if you can see right here, doing experiments on them to try and learn more about how to look more like them, to perfect our genetic mimicry. We did what was necessary, they say, to improve upon the traitorous vermin that were here, with whom they now imprison them.
So it shows you the
Boothby
length
and
they went
Archer.
to do those clones and things.
That's right. So
They
these
weren't just
guys
observing.
are. That's right. We were just observing, they said. So the 8472 says their culture poisoned our species. The ones you call Boothby and Archer meant to infiltrate your ranks have become traitors. So, what they also find in here is somebody else entirely. Admiral Paris on the ground in the cell.
OG Admiral Paris.
The OG Admiral Paris. Which brings us to this beautiful.
Or, as we call him now, Gramps.
Oh, that's true. He's the Gramps Merle.
Yeah, he is. Gramps Merle.
Here we are, back on Fluidic Space with this issue. Here we go.
That was a great cover. Put that cover back up for 1 sec.
Oh, yeah, let's bring this back up. Isn't that gorgeous?
I do like that.
Ooh.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, that's pretty beautiful.
You see, like, the Earth through the wormhole.
Indeed.
Voyager going through. Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh, homecoming.
Anyway, good stuff.
Yeah. There's an interesting word in Greek. The Greek word for homecoming, which shows up in the Odyssey all the time, which I was joking about before, is nostos, homecoming. It's related to a different word, which we often use these days to refer in a more sort of commercialized way, nostalgia. Because nostalgia is nostos plus algae, the pain of homecoming, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah, that is nice.
Anyway, so these guys are definitely experiencing nostalgia here in that case. So Admiral Paris, as they
could have just called it Star Trek Nostos, like this whole series.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Gosh. So Admiral Paris has been trapped here for 4 years, it turns out.
Yeah.
Leading the project to bring them
he
home.
Yeah, he led the Pathfinder project. It was
Pathfinder mission to get them home that entire time because they wanted
to get them away from
exactly this moment. Yeah. Prime Hierarch made Boothby and Archer impersonate them.
Totally believable.
And then apparently got angry when they thought humans weren't so bad.
Because I say it's a totally believable combination for them because they can handle Voyager and they can handle the Borg, but when they mess with them at the same time, it gives 8472 a lot of problems. So absolutely, we need to get Voyager back to where they come from, and we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah. So the Prime,
but they don't have access to like a transwarp network like the Borg do, like 8472. They can't just send Voyager.
They need to find a way to pierce into our space. Yeah, I don't know what
and then access our technology or Borg technologies. They don't have access. They can't just cross.
Yeah, but you think about it though, right? They find
how did they get
Borg ship not very far away from themselves. So I suspect that people
from Earth
inside fluidic space don't operate the same way as.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Or maybe they did just hijack a ride on a transwarp network to get to Earth a couple of times. Who knows? We never really get the answer to that. Yeah.
Yeah, their coordinates and ours may map. Not in like a one-to-one way. You never know. So Boothby and Archer were declared traitors because they had actually begun to sympathize with human values. We were ordered, they say, to change back to our original forms, but we refused.
And Archer likes the body. She just I like their form.
They like that form. They're like, actually, we didn't think she should tell us what to do with our own bodies. Thank you very much. They, like the Borg, have been infected by human individuality.
That's one of the other B plots of Star Trek. Humans out there infecting the universe with Starfleet.
Look out for root beer. They are a ruinous race.
Insidious, isn't it?
So they say their ships were amputated from the main body. We were made pariahs. They formed a resistance called aberrations.
And they're not. They aren't able to change back
peace.
now, right? They're like stuck in that. Didn't they freeze them in that form as well?
Or they may simply stay in it because they prefer it. I'm not sure that it's. I think they simply refused, but it may be the case
because in the show they had to keep accessing a medication to stay in the form.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Unless they just have a big supply of it or something.
Probably not in jail. They're probably stuck in it now. Yeah. Oh, I'd forgotten that detail. That's a really good point. So they also decide on a new security protocol. The last time they were they were guests of the 8472. Their thoughts weren't constantly being monitored, but now they're going to be more careful about that. So they're going to try and get Admiral Paris and everybody else out of here. And B'Elanna's engineer brain goes into overdrive. Happily, beautifully. She said, so you're amputated from the rest of the fleet. So the resistance ship computers haven't been connected to the main body for years. That means they still have data on opening a singularity back to our space. Pop ham, she says. So if that's true, Chakotay says, and Archer says, I might be able to confirm it if you agree to a dinner date with me when this is all over.
One of the funny things about the series, too, is given their jobs, how much like B'Elanna does appreciate a deflector and how much Tom doesn't really.
Yeah, I feel like
he's like, well, we'll just get us up there and then we'll deal with it. It's like... anyway.
Yeah, he's it's funny when he's the more bullheaded of the two, right? Yeah. Those are lovely moments. So yes, Chakotay makes a flirty joke back about, it's funny you think that you assume we're going to survive all this, and they decide to work together. So
I really like
Voyager has been stowed in the landing bay.
There's great. I really like them as a couple. There's a lot of great Tom and B'Elanna stuff in this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So right, Species 8472 stowed us in the Aberrations Bay, or Baritons Bay, says the Doctor. Sensors show them closing in on the ship. Interestingly, we've got a lovely picture of the Borg and the Doctor working together here in Med Bay to create more of the nano probes at a great rate. But 8472 is about to try and come aboard the ship.
Yep.
To begin making those Borg.
Would make a good third and final act of a two-parter.
Absolutely. And now, Seven points out that many nanoprobes might be enough to destroy the whole station if they shot it into it at once from the inside, which is exactly what they proceed to do. I love it when they do this at this point. They're like, oh, that's a good idea, Seven. Let's just do that right now.
Oh, Janeway and Seven work together so well sometimes.
Oh, their synergy is incredible.
Well, they're both not too. They're both very good at quick decisions. Let's just put it that way.
Yes. And
like imagine Picard trying to work with Seven. Well, I don't know, Seven. If Captain, can you answer my question? Well, I'm considering what you said, Seven, and it's very good.
Applies the electric shock. He will survive,
Captain.
No.
Data had more patience for a robotic type character than
absolutely. So they're beginning to make their way out again toward Voyager. People are getting pretty beat up, starting to lose consciousness. Tuvok and Admiral Paris, and they run into 8472 again.
Yep.
Who is intent this time on at very least killing 7 of 9. They're going to get rid of at least one Borg in this whole problem. Dang it. when Janeway
and honestly, a smart strategic move if you're trying to thwart Voyager's plans.
Generally. Oh, for sure. Janeway tricks the 8472 into appealing to the Prime Hierarch by threatening him with the same kind of amputation should he disobey. He checks in and immediately apparently just gets mashed by the Prime Hierarch because his arm comes off. 7 is free, and they keep heading toward the ship.
Interesting. See, the Prime Hierarch read as female to me.
Oh, yeah, you may actually be right. The Prime Hierarch may identify themselves as she, as a mother at some point. You're right.
Yeah,
I got that wrong. So. Thank you. They're talking about the fact that the 8472 imagining themselves superior can't bear the thought of being wrong, and so managed to get this entirely upside down. So what the plan is they will, as the ship is destroying, coming apart around them, they're going to head out to one of the Resistance's ships, which will help them get through a rift and back to normal space.
Mm-hmm.
So it ends with saying, with Archer saying she'd like to come back. She'd actually like to stay as a representative to the Federation from this resistance inside species 8472.
An excommunicated representative.
Exactly. Boothby points out, he says he thinks the resistance is willing to help, Captain, but they need to hear it for themselves from you. Now, this page also contains something that is politically tricky, even though the story here does make a pretty ironclad case for what Janeway says here. There's this moment saying, knowing the Federation supports the resistance could change the game for us. Archer says, Chakotay says, would that be interfering with the development of your society? The Prime Directive, Janeway interrupts. These are an oppressed people asking for our assistance in fighting state-sanctioned violence because they're different. We're morally obligated to help, which in this case I think works because they're actually engaged in a collaboration which has
they already
but does in fact like resemble contemporary, often cynical doctrines of what's called the responsibility to protect, which have often been cited to do the most depraved things to places like Libya, and reduce it to a place where there's open air slave markets now. So it really caught me off guard that this argument was used there. But I think in this case, the construction of it ethically actually works, as opposed to real world examples, which generally use that language as a cover for doing something else. But yeah, it really struck me when I got to that panel. It's like, wow, I really don't know how to feel about this, but reviewing the rest of the issues up till here, I think I agree with Janeway in this case, whereas in principle I'm generally against this kind of argument. This is the freaking brilliance of Star Trek, is what I'm trying
Janeway
to say.
walks the line.
So good. Right? She's so brilliant at cutting those things close to stay close to the facts of the matter. And so Janeway is going to send a message to the resistance, which is overlaid over the top of the return. The fundamental point of the speech is, how do I communicate an ideal, a code of ethics, the foundation of everything I believe? I suppose it's by speaking from the heart. And here we see Voyager returned to beautiful San Francisco.
Yeah, it's cool.
And
cool shot.
Indeed.
And I had to prepare myself, so I stopped there and I was like, all right, here it comes.
All right,
I'm
deep
ready.
breath.
I'm like, I'm not going to cry at any point. I'm ready for all the reunions, and here we go.
First reunion is Hugh with other Borg, interestingly enough. Reg Barclay's introducing them. Then we move to taking care of Tuvok. His wife is transporting in from somewhere.
That should almost been the first one because he needed that for desperate medical attention.
He was in terrible, terrible shape.
Yeah.
The doctor gets to work on Admiral Paris along with Dr. Pulaski.
Yeah, that was
who
cool.
We see returning. I love that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Pulaski, in fact, says that she was glad to assist in saving Admiral Paris, but I'm here to see you, and I'm not alone. Dr. Zimmerman wanted to see you in person. Just a lovely moment. He says, I'm so proud of you.
But doesn't that show this insane growth for Pulaski of where she started with Data?
Oh my goodness! Oh
now
yeah,
she's showing this interest in Data. But like that's
absolutely
awesome.
Yeah. I love that. Like that's one of those references that makes me say like that is good, deep, tasty Star Trek right there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So then there's visiting the hospital, introducing Admiral Paris to his granddaughter, and a beautiful moment where Tom and his dad can really talk to each other, maybe for the first time in their adult lives, which I really loved as a moment. Ooh, yeah.
Yep, that's a good one.
B'Elanna and her dad.
This is the one that caught me off guard, and when I was like, I'm not gonna cry, and this one snuck up on me because I didn't see it coming.
Absolutely.
I kind of anticipated all these other reunions except for one of them, which is kind of like, well, there was no way to anticipate it. But like this one, man, I'm like, I never thought of her father coming back into the picture at all.
Oh yeah.
And
well, I think yeah, he thought, that loss is there and he doesn't want it to happen in a permanent way,
like he had been writing her, I think, or vice versa.
I think so.
And like one of them wasn't returning the letters, I think.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have a wonderful moment here with Tuvok and his wife.
This one too, like it's these 2 pages together, and I was just a blubbery mess.
And his son,
because I love to say that can you show the panel of Tuvok, the close up of his face here? At the bottom there. Yeah. Look, even a Vulcan can't help to smile at their meeting their grandchild.
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
I love that subtle. That's
what did you
another.
Say? It is agreeable to be able to make your acquaintance. Yeah. So his son Sek and Sek's husband, his son's husband Equindio are there with their granddaughter, with his granddaughter.
Who isn't Vulcan, I don't think, or were they both Vulcan?
I think Equindio does not look like
human,
he's Vulcan,
right?
He looks human.
Yeah.
And that baby's got a pretty Vulcan haircut.
Yeah, the baby's going full Vulcan.
Looks like it. And the baby's name is Timeni. We come around here to one of the best jokes in this whole thing here, where Harry Kim finally gets reunited with Libby. His folks. They say, "You're still an ensign after all these years."
That's funny.
We're gonna have to take it up with I'd like a few words. And then here we see Libby, another one of those characters that I was not expecting.
No, I wasn't expecting Libby either.
No.
But she might just be clout chasing. I don't know if I trust Libby, quite frankly.
Well, I think we see Libby ultimately as a contrast to Mark, who we're going to see a reference to later on, right?
Mark didn't come back. The dog's still there, though.
Exactly, precisely, right? So here is Chakotay reconnecting with.
Yeah, this was the one I meant about. Like, there was no way to predict this because I don't even think we hear about his family members at all, other than his grandfather.
No, and this may be a reference to a passing reference in an episode, but this is Chakotay's brother who has undergone gender transition. He says, "Brother, I have a sister," and he says,
yeah,
"I'm
before they beam up,
your brother." And yeah, he says, "Where does he say?" He says, "Sorry, I didn't mention in my letters. I wanted to tell you in person. Are you happy? You're home, and I get to see you as the real me. I've never been happier. What a beautiful reunion." And then Archer comes back in for some more flirtiness because she is clearly determined.
Yeah. Like there wasn't anything else to really wrap up with Chakotay because all his marquee people are dead. Like, it was hard to find. And the most important thing is Susan and Tilly fix the gravest error of Voyager, which is it the next page? Ending the relationship between Chakotay and Seven.
Absolutely.
That was an important fix. Thanks for that, Susan and Tilly.
Honestly, like they're grown-ups about it. Like, this is good Star Trek. How do you break up if you're in Starfleet stuff? I think it's great. Yeah. And I love that
really, Seven just walks up. It's like, I think we should break up, and Coach is like, yeah, well, it was just really an end game thing. And that was
in fact, he says it. I still have feelings for Archer. It's not fair to you to continue our relationship.
And I like that relationship a lot too. Him and Archer is a really interesting relationship.
They had great chemistry in that episode, eh?
Yeah.
And here they do as well.
Yeah.
And here we first see
like, to me, that was almost the most important
Starfleet
relationship to really wrap up with Chakotay, was the one with him and Archer. I think that was nice.
Oh, that was great. Yeah. 7 of 9 says she's worried anti-Borg prejudice may impede her progress joining Starfleet. And then we see the entry of another post-Borg. 9 of 73 enters the room. And we have a really touching moment where 7 says, perhaps you can find some comfort here with me.
Thing about this is we know that relationship is not going to last.
Not forever, no. We don't know how long it lasts, but certainly not forever, no.
But to be like expected, she's going to be like a newly liberated Borg and going to want to go experience the universe.
One assumes, yeah. And now, perhaps the most important relationship, Janeway and her dog.
I love that her dog was still alive, because 7 years for a dog, you don't know. You never know.
But again, like, my Odyssey joke pays off again, right? Because the end of the Odyssey, after 20 years, Odysseus is back on Ithaca, and the only creature that recognizes him is his dog, Argus, who's lying outside and can barely move and wags his tail and is like, okay, good. And then he dies. I love this reference here, right? The dog's name is like, oh my gosh, it's so perfect. I don't know if that was intentional, but
did we ask Susan and Tilly if they read the Odyssey? Well, next time
I'm sure they must have it somewhere. Yeah. Then we see a lovely so she's talking to her friend here and beams to somewhere, I'm not sure where, sees her statue, and then meets Captain Janeway. I'm Ensign McDonald, but people call me Dr. Aaron.
Friend of the show, Dr. Aaron.
Goes up in here. Yep. What a great cameo. She's there to talk about recent encounters with her future self. Kid, the stories I could tell you.
Fun fact, there's tons of Dr. Aaron and Heather Antos clones just littered through Starfleet. They're clones, possibly androids. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm getting to the bottom of it.
See, we talk a lot about Soong type androids, but we never revisit the Mud type androids.
Yep, or the Antos type androids, or the McDonald type androids.
Indeed. So here we have a final page. The Maquis are getting pardoned. Others are getting recognized for their work. The Doctor takes everybody to the holodeck for a final picture, including two faces we haven't seen for several years at that point.
Yeah, Kess and Neelix.
Indeed.
In holographic form. Nice little shot at the end.
It's beautiful.
Yep. But this one's going into the old head canon for me. I like this series.
Oh, I really enjoyed this as a very kind of nostalgic hello goodbye to the series. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
The final two-parter we never got.
Yeah,
and no one got to the beach that I could tell, but I think Tuvok got to Vulcan, and there's a lot of sand there.
Vulcan is a beach
with no water. One
There's
small
like one inland ocean, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, which I suspect is very briny. I don't know that, but I would guess.
Might assume. Yes.
You in fact cannot submerge in the inland sea on Vulcan.
Yeah, skipping
it's so concentrated with
brine. Affair. Yeah.
Well, I like this series a lot, and
indeed,
I should recommend everyone out go out and check it out. It'll probably be out in trades soon if it's not already.
I hope so. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Indeed. Well, thank you again, Susan and Tilly, and all the others who made this come together. We hope we'll see more from you all soon in this vein.
Yep. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts. Contact us at locutors@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook. And we are a proud part of the Swear to Pod Network. And let's just take a moment of silence for Starfleet Academy. One of the best first seasons in like all of Star Trek, and it's gone too soon. 2 seasons is not enough for that show. I haven't seen the second season yet, but I love the first season. I mean, if you can get through episode 8 with a dry eye, then I don't know what to tell you. Anyway,
they're really heartwarming stories. I really liked Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess there's really one thing left to say, bro.
Indeed. End transmission.